Yo guys, welcome on in. Kyrios here, and today I want to go over week 2 of Sequential Phantasm. That's a mouthful. Now this changes every single week, and so I'm hoping to cover this from week to week until we've pretty much covered them all. I'm going to give you guys my tips and tricks. I'm going to show you some of my gameplay, and I'm just going to talk through some of the struggles that you may have or some of the easy ones you may have. So if you guys can't hit that like and subscribe, check out the Tower of Fantasy playlist, and let's get started. All right, quick reminder, remember to go get involved in our giveaways. We're going to be doing this for the next 3 to 4 weeks. I've got a bunch of codes to give away. You can get these live on our twitch.tv channel. You get these live on our YouTube channel. You can also get these live, or you can, not live, but you can get them on our Twitch or Twitter. Jesus, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Twitter, that's the word. Let's get back into the video. All right, quickly before I get started, I kind of want to do a TLDR or kind of a PSA that unfortunately this is extremely whaley in my opinion. Now there's ways to do it successfully with characters you have, and even level 1 weapons you can get some pretty good scores on, but they do require you to have a variety of weapons. Like for example, I don't have every single weapon. I do, like, I'm very Volt, but I don't have Claudia or Frigg. So some of the times that they do Frost or Physical, I actually hurt, right? Where I have to use different characters like Bai-Ling, or use even like a 0-star Shiro, or even use a 0 level Tsubasa. And you will see that here. So just be aware that you're going to excel at certain avenues and you're going to not do as well in other avenues, but that doesn't mean that you can't get a good score. And unfortunately, the score is very well tied. 359. Well, that's cool, but you can see that my score is tied to my my level. So getting a really good point score is very critical to getting up the levels of bygones. So let's get started. All right, so for this week we have Fighting Spirit, which is Lightning in the Cloud. This is probably the easiest one, especially for most people that have invested in a Samir or a cloud, or in a Crow, not a Cloud. Then we have Barrage. Now this one is also very a lot easier. Now I struggled on this one. This one's a lot easier if you have Frigg, and we'll cover that in one second. I want to cover the one that's kind of just free money, free points for almost anyone. And you can do this being essentially completely free to play, but it's a lot easier if you have some of these characters. But we're going to talk about Guard Defender first. So for this one, enemies can only receive flame damage, which is fine. Benediction resonance healing decreased by 50%. Totally fine as well. You're going to be bringing in a lot of healers to this. Wanderer's Flame attack increased by 30%. There's really no reason to do attack on this one. You guys will see that in just a second. And enemies emit toxic smog every 40 seconds, which is okay as well. When an enemy dies, it deals damage equal to 5% of his HP to the killer. So you actually don't want to really kill anything here. Now, so this one, you're really going to want to go in full on healing. You're going to want to bring every healer that you possibly can. Now, most people aren't going to have Nemesis, and Nemesis is actually the complete cheese to this entire thing. You'll see that on my gameplay in a second, but you can easily do this with Coco and Pepper. Now if you're missing Coco and you're missing Nemesis, you're gonna struggle a bit on this one, unfortunately. Yeah, until we have more healers. And unfortunately, like a healer like Zero, even if you have an S10, is really not going to help you out here. It's not going to be optimal in my opinion. You can use it for some shielding. That is a strategy, but I don't think it's a really good strategy. So ideally, you do have Pepper or Coco, and if you have all 3, you should be able to keep all 4 beacons alive. And if you have 2 out of the 3, you should be able to keep multiple beacons alive. So here are my quick tips. Big tip. As you get closer and closer down to the end of your time frame, whether it be a minute or less or 2 minutes or less or anything like that, you really need to abuse the time stop mechanic. That's going to give you a lot more ultimating, and you really need that ultimating to keep those things alive. So you want to make sure that every 20 seconds you're essentially proccing a brand new time stop, so you can use your ultimates correctly to keep those 2 additional structures alive. So make sure you are actually running in between enemies and trying to time that. And then when you only have 2 left, just run back and forth while getting those time stops to slow down the amount of damage that's being put on them. And then quickly talking about relics real quick. 2 relics that can really help you, or 3 relics that actually can really help you out, but one that you're probably not leveled up just yet. But the first one I want to talk about is definitely using the space-time rift. Using the space-time rift will create a vacuum, and you can pull all those enemies together every now and then to kind of just draw them off of the different points that you're trying to hit. So this is a really good one to bring. Now for another one that's really good to bring is actually the shield. And now you might not think the shield's actually that good, but if you get aggro on them, so for example, I was using King just to get a little bit of aggro to try and draw them away from them by using King's ultimate. You can actually put this down every minute and slow them down from getting back there. So it's a really interesting play. You can use it. And then finally, the last SR matrix that I would talk about that is definitely worth using here is the lava bomb. The lava bomb is actually really cool with a 30-second cooldown. Assuming it's 3-star, it might be 1-star, 0-star for you. But if you have it at 1-star, it stuns the target for 2 seconds and then burns them. This is actually really good because it kind of throws them off and can stop their attack pattern. All right, next up we do have the Barrage Awareness Adhesive. Now this one's frost damage, and I have almost 0 frost, guys. All right, my Tsubasa 0-star. I have a Meryl, and that's about it. Enemies can only receive frost damage, so you have to bring frost in here. A little bit hard to do, or it can be hard to do, but honestly, you don't even have to defeat any enemy to get points here. You really can just avoid all the balls. You can, I'm trying not to laugh here. You can avoid the balls and just kind of run around and not kill enemies. Now, killing enemies will help you out, but your priority is to not get hit. So for weapons that we're looking to use here, all right, the number one weapon is going to be Frigg's weapon. Now, I don't have Frigg's weapon, but I can guarantee you if you have Frigg, you're probably dominating this course. All you gotta do is put down her ability, dodge around all the balls, and then just essentially take everything out. Now, another weapon you're really going to want to do, now depending on the amount of range you have, you're definitely going to want to bring in Tsubasa. Tsubasa is going to help you out, especially for taking down those turrets on those pillars and just being able to do very, very good damage. Now, for my final third that I would pick is obviously Coco. Now, if you don't have Frigg, Tsubasa, Coco, Meryl, whatever, any combination of that, you're really going to be playing the kiting game at that point. You're not going to be playing the DPS game. And that's where Coco really comes in, is that you can use a lot of her dodge attacks to build up those frost stacks, slow them down, and just whittle them down over time. Now, but once again, Tsubasa and Frigg are kind of a must needed here. That you can use the turret, sorta, kinda. If you could pull this off, man, more props to you. But just not me. I can't do it. So let's move on over to the relics. All right, and then finally on the big tip here, you want to be able to use these pillars. So pretty much just run around the pillars attacking. And then as a second tip, always take out the turret guys first. Now, if you don't have a ranged weapon, it's going to be a little bit hard to do. You can jump in the air and kind of get some attacks off. Not the easiest, but always take out those stationary turrets and then just kite the ones that fly around to the best of your ability. The relics I would bring are that Space-Time Rift is once again really good. The Omnium Shield is actually really good. The Omnium Shield will block bullets, which is really, really nice. So you can use it as an additional shield, and it also slows them down. So this is really good to run. Another one that I like to run as well is actually the projector on this one. A pretty long cooldown, unfortunately, but it can be used for good. All right, and that finally brings us to our final one, which is the Fighting Spirit. And this one is just an auto-attacking bygones. It really is. Unfortunately, it only allows you to do volt attack and physical attack. But luckily for most people, you're either invested into 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿, you're invested into Crow, you're invested into Samir, you may have Nemesis, and maybe you pulled Claudia. So this is actually going to go a very, very long distance. So you do need to bring a little bit of healing. So make sure you do bring that. So not having Nemesis is really kind of going to hurt you, but there's some other workarounds that you can do on that, right? So for weapons, obviously, I would just bring your 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉 or your bygones team. So mine's like Samir and Nemesis. Now that's a little bit cheating, right? I've got a really nice Nemesis, but what you can do is I brought in a 0-star 𝙀𝙀𝙉 just for shield breaking. You could also bring in Bai-Ling, also very, very, very good. Future Kyrios. Hey guys, Future Kyrios here, and make sure that you can also bring in Echo, which is the SR Spear. Does actually a ton of damage, and mine was level 1 and just completely popped off. And then you can also bring in Claudia. If you have Claudia with the damage buff can actually be your shield breaker in this instance. So just make sure you're bringing in a decent shield breaker. Doesn't have to be leveled up. You guys will get a pretty good score no matter what. Now the big hurt is that you definitely need a healer. So if you don't have Nemesis to do additional damage, please bring in an additional healer of some sort, whether that's Coco, whether that's a 1-star Zero. It doesn't matter if they can do damage or not. It just matters that you get a little bit of extra healing just in case you need it. And then for your primary DPS, you're really going to be looking at that 𝙀𝙀𝙉𝙉. You're going to be looking at that Samir. You're going to be looking at that Crow. Relics do matter. I would be bringing that. I would be bringing both the Space-Time Rift once again. And you can also think about bringing Alternate Destiny if you absolutely need it. And then one that I actually like to bring on this one is the Magnetic Storm. The Magnetic Storm, you should be able to use it twice or 3 times. Is actually really nice, especially if you have it leveled up. It's just going to help you do a little bit more damage to burst them down a little bit quicker. All right, guys, let me know if that helped you out. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you want me to do this weekly? I'll try to get them out as soon as I can. I typically don't stream until Tuesdays, and patch days are usually, or resets are usually on Monday. So let me know. I love doing things like this. I'll have a new raid guide coming out soon for the new raid that just launched, which is not the easiest raid in the world. I hope everyone's ready to group up for that one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe, and fist bump from me to you.